People Incorporated has its historic roots in Hyder's Gap, here in Poor Valley in the heart of Southwest Virginia. 50 years ago, most low-income families living here had barely an 8th grade education and earned less than $2,000 a year. To break the vicious cycle of poverty, concerned citizens formed the Hyder's Gap Progressive Community Club in 1964. That same year, it was renamed the Progressive Community Club and was incorporated as the nation's first rural community action agency.
The Hyder's Gap Community Club was organized in 1964 by Font Henderson, his wife Thelma, and school principal Garland Thayer. Soon incorporated as the first rural community action agency in the nation, the organization received a grant of $55,000, accepted the first 2 VISTA volunteers in the country, and welcomed the National Youth Corps. After a decade of providing programs and services to hundreds of low-income families, including the first Head Start programs in the nation, the Progressive Community Club became People Incorporated in 1974. For the next 40 years, People Incorporated will provide a comprehensive and expanding menu of programs and services for Southwest Virginia and beyond. Since its beginning, People Incorporated has pioneered early Head Start, and child care programs that have helped thousands of children fulfill their learning potential.
I wasn't really familiar with People Incorporated or the Head Start Association until a family advocate came knocking on my door one day. She explained to me what People Incorporated was, what they do for the community, and she explained to me what Head Start did for young children and their families.
Today, with 11 Head Start centers and home-based services, People Incorporated is Virginia's leading child and family development organization and the first to be accredited by the National Association for the Education of Young Children.
If it hadn't been for that family advocate knocking on my door, my children wouldn't have been involved in Head Start, my husband and I wouldn't be furthering their education, and we wouldn't be changing our families' lives.
People Incorporated links entrepreneurs, individuals, and families to financial services, affordable housing, and transportation to develop a more prosperous, sustainable, and viable economy throughout Virginia.
Well, it was in 2002 that we got started with People Incorporated. We got financing and we had training, we had business classes. So what People Incorporated did is root us and ground us and teach us to think about how much we would need to sell per month to stay in business, just challenged us with questions that we had not asked ourselves. And all of that gave us a fantastic foundation.
It was amazing as we got ready to open how many calls we were getting from people who not only needed medical care, needed mental health care, needed dental care. And so within a year, we were starting to hire more staff people. We were starting to add more hours of operation, and it just kept going and going. We run almost, with free and in-kind services included, almost $4 million in services every year, which is just wonderful for our community because, again, these are low-income families that could never afford this on their own.
Because of our vast experience working with community development projects, People Incorporated was chosen as the entity to own and develop the Heartwood facility. We view Heartwood as a community development project. The importance that this facility will have to the region, to local artisans, to local musicians, is really beyond measure. Since its construction, Heartwood has become an integral part of the region, and just one more example of People Incorporated's impact on local communities.
We help individuals and families avoid homelessness, improve their homes, find affordable housing, learn good money management habits, and buy their first home.
When I received custody of my grandchildren, I was living in a 2-bedroom apartment, so I started looking for a bigger place to live so I could provide a good home for my grandchildren, and I found this place, a 5-bedroom and a fenced-in yard. We live close to a park, live close to the school that I work at, which they will probably be attending there, live close to my mother, live close to a swimming pool. It's just really a good fit. I don't believe that it would have been possible had it not been for People Incorporated.
This area of the county, the whole area of Washington County, had a lot of the water, but no water customers. People Incorporated got involved, taking water samples of the different wells and springs of the people in the Alvarado area, and found out that a lot of them were contaminated, and the folks didn't even know it. Everybody decided it won't do any good to bring a water line through here if nobody is able to hook on. So at that time, People Incorporated got real involved, and they came up with a lot of money to actually go into the homes. A lot of there were actually some homes in the area that didn't have plumbing. With People Incorporated getting involved, it actually took a project that was almost gone away and revived it. Probably 75% of the homes in this area do have water. At that time, did have water, mainly because of People Incorporated.
To put it mildly, when you're in a homeless situation, you spend a lot of nights thinking and wondering, where's the next dollar gonna come from? Am I ever gonna get out of this situation? Is there employment down the road for me? When I received the help from People Inc. and supportive services, it was like a breath of fresh air. You know, it's hope. And that's the only way that I can actually phrase it, is that it gives a person hope. Because sometimes we can be up on a mountain and tomorrow we can be down in a valley. But we have to be able to be strong enough, and with some support, we can climb back up on the mountain. So.
In the small Russell County community of Sun, most available housing was unsafe and had inadequate or no indoor plumbing, and sewage flowed directly into a nearby creek. Working with Mountain Heritage, the Russell County Board of Supervisors, and a local property owner, People Incorporated spearheaded the move to convert existing rentals to home ownership and completely rehabilitate the houses. Home values soon jumped from $10,000 to $40,000 and more. Community Development Block Grant funds supported a new community septic system, and the polluted creek was cleaned up. Today, more than a dozen families enjoy home ownership, and the whole community has benefited. We provide help where it's needed most, for at-risk youth, formerly incarcerated individuals, preschool children, pregnant women, or for anyone in our communities who wants to improve his or her life or needs a second chance.
My mom and dad had always said, you're going to college. So I knew I was going. I just didn't know how I was going to achieve that. I started Project Discovery probably my sophomore or junior year in high school at Abingdon High School. That would have been around 1985, 86. And I was approached by a guidance counselor and said that this program might be good for me. I was very pleased with the activities we had. We had workshops on college admissions, filling out financial aid forms, and then we took those college visits. That was the part I really enjoyed. You know that college is important. We tell that to everyone, but through my experience, I got a great education. I've got a good job. And I even met my wife. So you can't limit a program like Discovery to just school. There are so many other aspects of it that will affect your life.
I work with abused and neglected children, and my duty in my role as an advocate involves advocating for the best interests of abused and neglected children in juvenile domestic relations courts. In our area, raising a family is a commensurate challenge due to the fact that poverty runs rampant in this area. Jobs are scarce. Jobs that pay a living wage are even rarer. Without People Inc. and without CASA, a lot of these children would be falling through the cracks of the juvenile justice system, unfortunately. And that is where I believe CASA and People Inc. Are the most effective tools, because we are volunteers. Our heart is in this 100% to do good things, not to get a paycheck.
When I got out, when I first got out of prison, you're scared to death anyway, because you don't know if you're going to get a good job or be able to support yourself or your family, whatever. But People Incorporated, they directed me into some of the places I never thought that I should go. You need somebody out there like People Incorporated to kind of get you back, and lead you to certain people, get you in contact with certain people. If you go to get a job, you get on the edge of your seat and you make that person across that desk know and believe that you want to go to work. And if you think there is no hope, that's not right. There is. You just gotta want it. You got to want it.
We connect individuals to employment, new skills training, and higher education through innovative initiatives that serve workers, job seekers, and employers. The goal is to enhance the productivity and prosperity of the communities in which we live.
I've been with People Incorporated since I was 14 years old, starting out as a summer aide, intern, as you will, and they helped me from day one to realize my dream, to go into college, to graduate. As of May 10th, 2014, finally, I definitely do have a little boy, Isaiah. He's about to be 4 years old. He will be going to college, and I do anything I can to help him along that way. When I found out, he was being born with my freshman year here, which, of course, most people think that as a speed bump, to get a reason to, go back home and to not to finish college, but just letting know him that education travels with you for the rest of your life, and as long as you have that, nobody can take that away from you.
People Incorporated is simply all about people, from children and family services to community and economic development. We empower people to help themselves, and in so doing, we are building futures and realizing dreams.